Amma. Amma. Almost like mother, except that you put a different sign on it. Comes from the word amma. Now, what does amma mean? Because see, that root word is what gives you the real meaning of the word. If you don't know the root word, you just skating on thin ice, and you could change it any time. If it wasn't for that, you could change the words and make them mean whatever you want to. That's one of the reasons why we know that Allah revealed the Quran in Arabic, because the Prophet spoke Arabic. But also, Allah wasn't sitting down waiting, Muhammad over there, I think I'll reveal. No, Allah's in the plan all the time. And so He guided the Arabic-speaking people so that they would maintain the structure of that language, so that it would be comprehensive eternally. And the way that the language is developed is that, with the exceptions of particles, words are derived from other words. And whatever word that word derives from, it carries the DNA of the root word. So this word and imam, and imam come from the word amma, and amma means something that we don't, they use a word to define it that we don't usually use, but you'll be able to understand it. It comes from the word to repair to. Now, we don't say to repair to. That's a British formation of the usage of that word. I think I shall repair to bed. All right. When you repair, what are you doing? You're getting something fixed. Is that right? So now, if you understand that and imam both have to do with repairing, getting something repaired, then that means it's a person, since these are both dealing with people, it's a person to whom you can go to get yourself straight. Will mama tell you the truth? And the imam is supposed to tell you the truth also. And that's the repair. All right? That's what will get us straight. When we don't know what's right, then somebody needs to guide us to what's right. And that's the and the imam. And the is the mother of imam. You know, I used to have to use that with my very highly academically achieved associates who went into great fields of knowledge that they didn't realize all that field of knowledge was just a siphoned off bit of the universal knowledge. And they were, I'm this. I said, well, all of you came from a teacher, because that's what I was, a teacher. So a teacher is the teacher of all professions. Is that right? None of you weren't born being an electronics engineer. All right, somebody taught you. So the mother of all professions is teaching, and the mother of all imams is All right? So sisters, if you see a good imam, say, well, we produced him. He wouldn't be, if it wasn't for us, he wouldn't be here. All right? And that way you'll feel satisfied. You won't be, because we have stuff be bothering us in the back of our minds, and sometimes we don't even know it's bothering us. Right. And if you have something that's bothering you, it causes a problem. Do we have any questions so far? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. You see it one time. Go ahead. I'm getting good. Yes, sir.
Years ago, I had an Arabic teacher, was teaching me. And I studied, he was saying that in studying the Arabic, he said one thing you have to learn English first. He said because you got to be able to, when you interpret back into your language, you got to be able to understand the best of the English that you can get. Is that correct?
Well, that's almost correct. What is correct is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. And I say that because some of us think we know English and we don't. All right? And I gave him this answer directly to his face once when he was interrogating the teachers. He called all the teachers over to the house. And we didn't know what was going to be happening, because if you go to the house, you didn't know what was going to be happening, right? And he asked, every teacher got asked 3, 4, 5 questions. He chased them around the bush and just exposed everybody out. He even asked one sister, said, who is the original man? She said, when I think of the original man, I think of a black African with bright eyes. All she had to do was say the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet, the God of the universe. He got to me, he said, teacher, she said, this is Teacher Granville, and he's our language arts teacher. He said, Teacher Granville, what is the most important subject? You know, we called him the apostle. I said, the apostle, or messenger, I said, the apostle, as you have so well taught us, that the slave would never be free until he learns the language of his master. Therefore, language is the most important subject. Next. All right. Now, to answer your question, brother, a better way of putting that is, regardless of how deficient you are in English, if your heart is right, as you study Arabic, it's going to improve your understanding of English. All right? Rather than you, I'm not going to study Arabic until I can speak out of the side of my throat like that. All right? No. The more you know about English, the better start you have. But what we don't understand is that most of us don't know English. We only make the sounds. For instance, talking to the same brother, you brother. If I told you, you're a nice brother, would you be all right with that? Yeah. But you shouldn't. Yeah. You should say, brother, all I did was ask you a question. What the hell is wrong with you? Because I just told you, you don't know nothing. Yeah. Nice comes from two words, nisus and siri. Look in the dictionary and you will see some brackets like this. That's what the etymology is. In those brackets, it will have two words, nisus, meaning not, and siri, S-C-I-R-E, which is also the root word for science, which means to know. So nisus and siri mean not to know. Siri means not to know. So when a person is said to be nice, it means that he's one who does not know. He's ignorant. Okay? So that's why. Now, can you understand why I say just because we know some English words and maybe we sound all proper and we've learned how to talk out of the side of our neck, that kind of stuff, that doesn't mean that you know the language. All right? The best way to know, the best way to get to know a people is to know their language. I have a thought. I'm not saying this is right, but I have a thought on how that word got to mean, okay. And that is, now, this is just my imagination. I don't have any documented proof of it. That the word really was already agreed upon to mean one who did not know. So here are two politicians. And they're interrogating this one politician. They ask him about another politician who is a person who is helping his opponent. And so he says, I said, what about so-and-so? He used to work in your camp and now he's over here. He used to work in your office, now he's over here helping so-and-so and so-and-so. He said, well, he's nice. And he meant just what he said, he's nice. But then, maybe just before that, maybe that's the primary. All right? And then when the regular election comes up, this guy comes out of that camp and comes on over here to help him. He says, Mr. So-and-so, you said that he was nice. He said, yes, can't you see, he's a good fellow. And they changed the meaning right there because he was the one that was going to be handling the money. They didn't question him that nice now means a good fellow. All right? Stuff like that happens. Now, I don't know whether it happened just like that. But I'm telling you, that's how languages evolve, but not so with Arabiya. Because Arabiya, I don't care what they say something means. You can always go back to that root word and see what it really means. All right? So because translators mix it up. And sometimes they'll translate the same word to mean different. I'm talking about the same translator. I'm not talking about different. Within the same translation, I've seen with Yusuf Ali, and I'm not trying to speak down on Yusuf Ali, but I've seen the same word translated different ways to mean different things. And of course, you just read the English side, you don't see this. The same word. Now, if it's the same word, then evidently it means the same or at least something similar, depending on what other words are going with it. That may not mean exactly the same because of the combinations of words before and after. But it has to have something similar to it. All right? So, yes, that's a good question. Any other questions? Because my time is up. I think. No, I'm all right. Well, I